Hello YouTube, it's Lion here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we are doing another review of Kaiju number 8. Today we are going to be reviewing chapter 18. We're going to do this in the same way I usually do, so we're going to do a really quick recap, and then we're going to jump into spoiler-filled review, then we're going to do theories at the end. Now, if you do want to follow me as I kind of go through these, please make sure to subscribe, like, comment down below, let me know what you thought. And do check out the previous videos. Now, the playlist is up in the card right now. And if you do want to watch the full review for last week's chapter, you can find that in the card as well. So, let's just jump into it. The recap of last week's chapter is basically that Reno and Iharu were getting beat to crap like they've been doing for the last couple of chapters. They finally managed to kind of fight back a little bit, but that's very minimal, and it wasn't really all that effective. But they were about to die. Kafka shows up. He's like, no, you're not going to hurt my friend. Or friends, I guess. Punches him a bit. The guy, Kaiju gets knocked down to the ground, and then he recognizes Kafka. He's like, oh, so you're Kaiju number 8. And that's basically where it ends. Kafka's about to start fighting this guy, but this guy recognizes him, and that's where chapter 17 ended 2 weeks ago. Yeah, if you want the full recap, like I said, it's up in the card. You can see it right there. So yeah, chapter 18 has 22 pages, and we're going to jump into full spoilers right now. I'm going to tell you what happened and then give you my thoughts as we're kind of reading through it, and then we'll do theories afterwards. So, the chapter opens right where the last one left off. Like I said, the Kaiju has just recognized Kafka and says, you're Kaiju number 8 with exclamation points. I think in the previous chapter he said it with question marks, but I guess he reiterated it and this time was like sure of himself, so he used exclamation points. Now Iharu is surprised. He's like, who the heck is this guy? And I guess it's mostly because Kafka is carrying Reno, and he grabs Reno and he moves him to the side. He sets him down gently and he tells him, hey man, you need to relax, you need to take care of yourself. Please make sure not to die and take it easy. I'm here, I'll take care of it, right? And he kind of has a little funny moment where he's like, oh, well, I shouldn't be telling you all that, right? You're like way better than me or whatever. And Reno's just messed up. He's like mentally beaten. Oh, he's physically beaten, but he's also mentally kind of defeated because he could not succeed in his duty, in what he thought was the right thing to do, which is beat the Kaiju so Kafka didn't have to save him or anyone else, so he wasn't put in danger. And that really messes him up, and I really understand that. I think it makes a lot of sense, and it was really well done. The art here was really nicely encapsulating of that like defeated attitude, and I thought that was really good. So, yeah. He asks Kafka to be careful because Reno has a bad feeling. He says, you know, something is going to happen. Very Star Wars-y kind of, I got a bad feeling about this. Feeling to the scene. I said feeling way too many times there, but hope you guys understood what I meant. So, the humanoid Kaiju, which I'm going to just kind of refer to H Kaiju, ask why Kafka is getting in his way. You know, he's a Kaiju. Kafka's a Kaiju, why are they fighting? Not that he really cares, but he wants to know. And yeah, and then he says Kafka is way stronger than he thought. And then he gets really ominous. He's like, I want your corpse. And shoots. And the bullet kind of affects Kafka. It like shoots through his heart. And he gets a little trickle of blood. But then nothing happens to him because, you know, Kaiju regenerate really easily. And Kaiju gets angry. Kafka gets angry, not the Kaiju. And the Kaiju, H Kaiju, kind of powers up and supercharges. He's like, you know, I see that I'm going to need to go way bigger. So he does a thing where he, like, makes a lot of extra arms and has, like, big balls at the end, which I assume that that's, like, the same thing as the thing he does on his finger when he gets a little ball and then it explodes and it shoots something. Same idea, really big scale. It's basically, like, a tank compared to a handgun, essentially. And there's a lot of them. And he powers up. And Iharu was awestruck. He's like, damn, this guy was just playing with us, and we couldn't even hurt him at all. Reno, on the other hand, is more like, Kafka, you should run. This isn't really worth it. And Kafka just gets angry. He's like, so this is what you've been doing to my friend. And he's really angry. You see that kind of like moment where his like anger gets the best of him, which in anime in anime and manga is like his eyes break, if that makes sense. Like the iris kind of like gets jagged. You see it in My Hero Academia really easily. I'll see if I can show you a GIF or a picture of what I'm saying, but it's really good and I really like it. And I like that kind of jaggedness because it's not just his eyes. It's like the whole image kind of gets jaggedy at the end, and it's like violent compared to the rest of the art, and it's really interesting and I really like how it looks. And so Kaiju, the humanoid Kaiju, shoots. Kafka charges up something, and you see like the base of his spine kind of gets like electricity running through it, and he opens his mouth, and it like opens past the normal mouth length, and it goes into the extra teeth that he has at the back, opens really wide, and he screams. And this scream forces like a sound barrier that destroys all of the shots that the other Kaiju sent, which is really awesome. And I think that's, I guess, a callback to Godzilla. He has that like nuclear scream or whatever I think it's called. He like charges up his mouth. You see his spikes get light blue, and he shoots like a ray from his mouth, like a nuclear breath or something, which is really awesome. I thought that was super cool. I really liked it. I'm actually not that big of a fan of kaiju movies, so it's kind of new to me. And I really like it. I thought it was really cool. I liked the scene. It was super interesting. And just the way that the kaiju was so surprised afterward was really, really cool. He was just like, huh, what's going on? And then Kafka like appears in front of him, really, really close. They're like face to face, nose to nose. And he just gets pummeled. Like the humanoid kaiju just gets destroyed. Kafka punches the hell out of him. And it's so, so awesome. Yeah, and then the kaiju waves his hand, Jedi style. And a bunch of corpses from other kaiju, which, were they there before? I guess they were, because he used this same move earlier. But I don't know where they come from, because I thought he was in a different area. But yeah, so he moves his hand, he blocks Kafka, and he like starts thinking, he's like, damn, I need to protect myself, I need to leave, this is gonna suck, I need to recover. And then Kafka just like rips through the corpses and like punches him again. And yeah, the kaiju is surprised. He says he needs distance, and Kafka keeps pummeling him. And yeah, the kaiju's like, damn, I'm pinned, I don't know what to do, I'm not healing as fast, which I assume is a case of like Kafka just punching him faster than he can regenerate, which would be kind of like Nomu and All Might, like in the, what is it, SJW, right? Whatever the, no, not SJW, USJ. Like the USJ arc where Shigaraki and the League of Villains show up for the first time in My Hero Academia. I think it's the same kind of concept as when All Might and Nomu fight, where it's like, I can't beat you with raw strength, I need to beat you with speed, I need to punch you faster than you can regenerate, and then you'll eventually get beat if he continues to do it, which sort of works. He just keeps punching him. He doesn't have time to retreat, and then Kafka lands a really good like uppercut to the gut, or I guess it's an uppercut. He punched upwards, and it wasn't like a side swing, so I guess that is an uppercut into the other kaiju's gut. It would be like punching your kidney, or like your solar plexus, right, where like you get punched and like the breath just gets knocked out of you completely. It was kind of like the same idea. And yeah, Kafka's like, I know your core is in your torso. get ready because I'm gonna punch through it. And that was so awesome. And that's another kind of interesting thing here, is we're seeing Kafka fight intelligently instead of just with sheer power, which is really good. It's kind of a thing that a lot of shonen protagonists don't really do. I think, actually, thinking about it, I think only, at least from the shonen I've read, besides Kafka, the only other person that I can think of would be L and Light from Death Note, obviously, and who else? Deku from My Hero Academia. Being intelligent isn't really a requirement for shonen protagonists, and I'm liking this because he is being intelligent. He's using the knowledge that he has, the skills that he's acquired through his regular life to win a battle against, overcoming odds or overwhelming odds. And I think that's really great. It's kind of something that we don't see very often in shonen manga, and I think that's really good that we see it now. So he punches the kaiju after telling him that, and it's a 2-panel punch. You see the big punch where like the kaiju blocks, right? He like holds his arms up and Kafka punches his arms. And then you see the impact where like the impact of the punch was so powerful that like he gets blown back and like kind of blown apart to an extent. And then you see the humanoid kaiju on the ground. He's like, damn, that was really bad. I almost got blown apart, but I managed to stay together. And he's really exposed. Like, you see kind of like a spine, and then there's a big ball in the middle, which I assume is his core, which would be like the center of his powers, and it wouldn't correlate necessarily to a human body organ. Like, I guess the core of a human would be their brain or their heart, but in a kaiju it would kind of be like both at the same time, to an extent, I guess. And Kafka is standing over him, looking really like powerful and kind of menacing, and he's preparing for the final blow. He's about to like end this guy's life, but the JDF shows up and they say like, hey, this is Delta Squad or whatever, we've discovered a humanoid kaiju. And that's where it ends, and it's like a cliffhanger, and it's so good. I love this chapter. The 22 pages went through like immediately. I don't think I lasted more than a minute reading this, and I thought that was super cool. It was really well done. I love the art. I really enjoy when the mangaka kind of shows off their art skills with these action scenes, and I think it's really cool that the art style not changes, but like gets accented a lot in the fight scenes, because it kind of changes the tone to an extent. I don't know really what you would call that in an artistic sense, since my artistic ability is rather limited, and my artistic knowledge is rather limited as well. But I know what it makes me feel, and that's kind of what it does. It does. It changes the tone from like, oh yeah, goofy but somewhat serious, to like, we're going to like get really serious now, and this is gonna be something epic, which I think is great. I love that. I'm not really sure that I know that many other manga that do it like that. I mean, I guess there is a certain change in the art style sometimes, but not usually, at least not that I can really pinpoint, and I think that's interesting. I mean, this kind of feels a bit more cinematic, I guess, if that kind of makes sense. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but yeah. Now, the theories here. Well, there's one thing that I really wanted to talk about that's not really a theory, it's more like a question, and it's, why are these other JDF members not wearing helmets? They usually do not. I don't think we've ever seen anyone from the JDF have a helmet on before. Now, I guess this is because, one, they're not important characters, and two, they're supposed to be a bit more malignant, or like they're the bad guys in this situation where Kafka is concerned, and so giving them faces would be like easy for them to become like for you to sympathize with. But if you make them faceless evil guys, it's easier for you to not like them and not want to be interested in them. And I assume that that's what's happening here. It's a way to tell us, hey, these are the bad guys right now. You should not like them, which fair, but it's just kind of odd because it's out of nowhere. They suddenly have helmets, and I don't think I've ever seen that before. But it works. I understand, I guess, or I sort of know what the author is going for, I guess. And so it's fine, but it's just something I noticed that I think wasn't great. Although why they're doing it, if I'm right, makes sense. Now, I think the theory is that for next chapter is that Kafka's going to get misunderstood. He's going to have to run. And the problem here is that he's going to run and he's going to turn back into normal human form. And he's going to act normal. But Iharu is going to be a weak link here. Because Iharu does not know that the kaiju is Kafka beforehand or afterwards, I guess. The same way Kikoru does. And Kikoru was really honorable, but we don't know if Iharu is going to be the same thing. And Iharu has seen all of this, but he doesn't have a strong connection to Kafka. And so he's a weak link. He's going to be the problem or the reason why Kafka gets caught if it works the way that I think it's going to work. And I think that's interesting. It's going to suck, I think, because Iharu has gotten a good amount of character development, and he seems to be Reno's close friend, and so it might kind of end up being crappy if he turns out to be, like, antagonistic to Kafka, and I would really not enjoy it, but I think it'll be interesting, and I'm really excited to see where it goes. And, yeah, that's basically it for me. Thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate you guys. I haven't done any of those other rambly videos because I just haven't had anything to talk about, but I will be doing one soon. I might even make some sort of fan art or something in it, but I'm not really sure. I don't want to hold myself accountable to something like that when I don't even know if I'm going to do it. So, thank you guys very much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I thank you guys a lot for coming to this video. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought. And thank you guys very much once again. See you guys later.